Hello everyone, this is Remleiz from 40k Theories, and welcome to this new episode of Adeptus Podcastus. And joining me as always, I say always, but anyway, it's Tactica Imperialis.
Hello everyone, apologies for my absence last week. Drone-related dramas, I'll spare you the details, and apologies in advance if at any point you hear the staccato pulse carbines of the gun drone, if they decide they need a refuel. If that happens, do not worry, just if that affects the audio, that's why.
Yes. But again, like I said last episode, kids got to come first, don't they? So we don't begrudge you.
Much.
So... No, I don't begrudge you at all, mate. Again, you're a mother to two kids. Come on, you got to deal with two kids. That's not easy for anyone. But I'm sure if anyone can actually, vouch for how hard it is, it's probably someone like Kirillov, because they've got, how many kids now? 2 or 3?
I think so, yeah. Memory serves.
And we've had to deal with people like Pichu dealing with their kids as well, so it's all good, don't worry.
Yes. If I may, because obviously I missed a bloody preview, of course I did, may I quickly flick through it? I'm not going to, spend too long talking about anything in particular, just quickly.
Speedrun, go!
Speedrun. Right, start the clock. The new red course says Raiders and Lord look really, really cool. I just think they could go even further. Like this, obviously they put Traitor Guardian with Battle Force. I think that's a great step. Really nice. And I really like all the command miniatures, and also Torellian Dog Soldier confirmed. We were so wrong about the Votan prediction being an Ironkin, but Torellian Dog Soldier is even better. Prince Ariel looks like exactly you would expect Prince Ariel to. The two flags will never look sensible, but it still works. Viper gunship updated. Hang on, right? What's the oldest miniature now? Considering that was probably the oldest.
Falcon.
Okay, it's the Falcon. Yep, fair enough. Thank you. And the new jump pack Corsairs look awesome as a hybrid between Swooping Hawks and Scourges. I think they look great. The Maelstrom books, this is the run-up to 11th edition. They actually state this in White Dwarf with the feature on 500 Worlds Titus. This is the series a la Gathering Storm and Psychic Awakening and Arcs of Omen. So they're setting up for 11th edition in the summer. Boo. I honestly think they could have left 10th another year. Honestly, they could have left it. It's fine. Mm-hmm. The Ossiarch Chariot looks awesome, and archers just fit that army really, really well. The new Lumineth annoy me because I sold out my Lumineth. I sold them all because I wasn't going to do anything with the project. And then they go and drop literally the perfect hero for that army that I had, the Venari Lord Regent, and I'm cross. Although the Iliath and Warhost, if I ever wanted to get the army back, is pretty much exactly what I would get. Is what I had. Spearmen, Archers, Blade Lords, the Twins, and the new River Song guys I never actually bought, but they're really cool as well. So they're really good. Annoyed that I sold them up. High Elves in Blood Bowl. It's High Elves. I like High Elves. Animations. And then the new Custodes. Good to see them in Heresy again. They look good. Really well refreshed. And hopefully they're not too OP. And the new tanks look cool. And I don't need to talk about the teaser because we know what the teaser is. They revealed it literally the next fucking day. Go.
Yes, the new...
Stop the clock.
Right, okay. I was just going to go straight and segue to the new Iron Warriors Warsmith that got revealed.
Yes, which is, honestly, I think that some people were rather cross that this mini was revealed because I think everyone wanted Perturabo.
I mean, we still got time.
I mean, yeah, they could drop Perturabo as part of this series with 500 Worlds, the Maelstrom. They could absolutely drop a Perturabo, but the fact that this wasn't Perturabo when the Rumour Engine and then the Iron Warrior Sigil comes up and it's like, oh my god, are they actually doing Perturabo? And they haven't. This guy's called Kravik.
In fairness, there's still some things that were teased that haven't been revealed yet, so there's still a chance.
Mm-hmm. So, we have Kravik Morn here, a particularly callous and brutal warlord who is only 2,000 years old, but he's been a Warsmith for 1,500 of those, which is bloody impressive. He's got a cataphracti armor with weaponized mechatendrils, augmetics, and a thunderhammer called The Last Argument. That's just perfect for a technomancer to go, right, okay, I've tried all my other arguments to make this machine work, now I'm going to try percussive maintenance. Bash! Really, I like that name so much.
It's like, you make a fair point, but consider this. Bang.
Yeah, basically. And honestly, like, if you told, like, obviously it's a named character for the Iron Warriors as it is, but you could have convinced me that this was pre-demon but post-chaos Perturabo, and I would have probably believed you, because it reminds me a lot of his Logos suit. To an extent. I know it's not the same scale. Perturabo in Heresy was slightly bigger than that, but you
Slightly.
can. Well, okay, yes, he's a Primarch. You know what I mean. Like, but if you didn't tell me the scale of this, and said this is what Perturabo looked like before he was possessed by a demon, but after he was corrupted by chaos, like, you could believe it. That's how teched up this armor is, and I think that's good. That's a good thing, for the record.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't come alone. Well, in this reveal, he came with a set of shoulder pads and a power fist and some upgrade helmets. But he then brought along. Honestly, I saw this and I was so happy. I don't even know why I was so happy, but they brought the Mutilators back.
Yeah. I would say this, like, they're fine, but I feel like they're not corrupted enough for my taste. They look a bit too clean.
The
like,
armor
if you told me these
does.
are just, it's like, if you told me these were just Chaos Assault Terminators, I'd believe you, because they don't look like what a Mutilator should feel like. Because I imagine like a hell of a lot more fleshier. Like, I know there's a couple of them got like some fleshy bits on their back, and like, you know, one's got a fleshy face and all that, but again, it just seems too clean.
Yeah, and I think the reason why you feel that way is because the original Mutilators, which I will just pop in for the viewer's benefit now, looked like this monstrosity.
Yeah.
So
typical, like, third edition, like, Greeblies, essentially.
Indeed, although obviously they redid Obliterators not that long ago, if you recall. And the modern Obliterators actually are very similar to these Mutilators. Again, I'm just going to grab one from Tinterwebs to just share with the viewers. Like, again, you got that idea of this fusion of
Biomechanical, essentially.
Yeah, biomechanical. And the thing about it is that they definitely did with the more recent Obliterator, and again with the Mutilator, make a very distinct separation between flesh and armor. The bio is like broken through the armor, like they're swollen up to hell, but they haven't fused with their armor as clearly as the old ones had, where their weapons were flesh metal. And if you look at the arm joint, the actual hands, you can see that yes, there is metal protruding from flesh, but half of them are wrapped in armor casing, so you wouldn't notice it anyway unless you really knew what you were looking for. And the actual armor itself, at no point does it meld really into flesh, aside from one that has horns growing through the armor, as you mentioned. So it definitely feels like there is a hulking monstrosity that's been covered in armor plates and told go, rather than, as the lore goes, that a mind obsessed with slaughter falls victim to a technovirus until the flesh and armor begin to knit into an impossible whole. Like, that is a little bit lost, but the new Mutilator, the old Mutilator looks so derpy, but the concept,
Yeah.
I always loved the concept. Like, I had Chaos Space Marines for a while, and I've still got a few, which I'll probably end up running as Red Corsairs in the long run. But Obliterators and Mutilators, Obliterators are always really cool to me. I love the concept of, oh, this turn I've got a multi-melter. Oh, this turn I've got a las cannon. Because that's literally what they used to do. Then they changed it to just flesh metal weapons, and it was far more boring. But Mutilators did the same. Like, oh, this turn I've got twin power fists. Oh, next turn I've got twin lightning claws. Next turn I've got this. And I loved that as a thing of like, oh, I can just pick whatever weapon I want turn by turn. And I've also got these mega bulky monsters that I can just charge around smashing everything. So I love the concept of Mutilators to the point that I am actually willing to overlook the lack of fleshiness about them. To say, you know what, I don't mind. These look awesome. I want some anyway.
Yeah, like I said, they're perfectly fine. It's just, I feel they could have done a bit more to distinguish them from just like Terminators, you know? They seem a bit too
I think it would be worth interesting to see how big they are next to Chaos Terminators as well, though. Like,
Yeah, that would probably help. Yeah,
because they remind me more of Assault. Like, I don't know if I would go with Centurions or like beyond. Like obviously Centurions are bigger than Terminators by a little bit, but they almost look like baby dreadnoughts. Like the lines and the shapes remind me of baby Hellbrutes more than bulky Terminators. So I'll be curious to see what the actual scale is.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So that was the Iron Warriors teaser covered. So thank you very much for not hanging around on spoiling that for us. Beyond that, there hasn't really been much. Well, there has, but most of it's been AOS related because obviously Lumineth and Disciples of Tzeentch are in their release cycle at this exact moment in time. They're on pre-order today at time of recording. So there's a lot of articles about them, and I really like what they've done with the new Lumineth, ability-wise, though it is weird. I think it's also really cool. But at the same time, I know that you guys don't click this podcast for Age of Sigmar insights. Now, do you? It's called a Warhammer 40,000 podcast for a reason.
Yeah.
But they did drop the rules for Huron & Co., which was interesting to read, I have to say.
Oh?
So Huron himself can basically just give his entire aura ability as objective control. So he's really good at nicking objectives off people, which is an interesting way to take a hero. But he also has the ability once per round to just make a move if a unit gets too close. It's like, oh, you decided you want to run up to me? I'm gonna move to within 4 inches of you. Now you can't move any further forward. Or, oh, you wanted to come and charge me with your Robert Gilliman? Oh, I'm just gonna fall back D3 plus 3 inches now. Bye. Or whatever.
Why am I getting JoJo vibes from this? Like, oh, you're approaching me, kind of thing.
Yeah, but it also works on things like fallback. So if a unit falls back out of combat, say that's been pinned down by him, theoretically he could just move up behind them. It doesn't say that it can't be that it was an engagement. He won't be in combat anymore. So it might genuinely work. I don't know. As a really way to not quite pin a unit in combat, but stop it from getting away as effectively as it should, or get him into cover. As you think, oh, I'll fall back out of combat with Huron, so I can shoot Huron. Oh, he just fell back into cover now. I can't shoot him anymore.
It's interesting to see how it plays out on tabletop.
He's also able to join Terminators despite not being a Terminator. I think that's cool.
Is that a thing? Only with named characters, they can only join Terminator squads if they have Terminator armor. Is that a thing?
Well, no, but if you look at most things, most Space Marine characters, generally, certainly back in the olden days, Terminator armor to join Terminator squads was a thing. Or if it wasn't, then it certainly was. It made Terminators very hard to use because they couldn't deep strike. They had a worse save because of the character in their midst or whatever. But he's got deep strike, so it doesn't stop Terminators from doing a teleport assault or anything like that. I always find it weird when power armed characters can join Terminators, and I'm sure there are other units that can do it. I just always find it weird.
Fair enough.
As for his entourage, the Masters of the Maelstrom, so they're a unit that can join a unit and be joined by Huron at the same time. So it's
right.
So they've done this before. So for example, this is the same as the how the Red Corsairs unit, not Red Corsairs, Rogue Trader unit. The Rogue Trader has a unit that can join the unit of Voidsman at Arms to make 2 units. Or it's actually the same thing as the Ultramarines can do at the moment, which is that Titus's command squad can join a unit, can lead a unit, and then Titus can join them as well to create a super bomb.
Right.
Which is, it's very similar to how Titus can play, but in fact, it basically is a complete mirror of Titus's command squad, isn't it, really? Because you've got a mix of Astartes and humans who the new named character can join, but can also join other units. Although, admittedly, what's interesting is this apothecary is probably arguably the worst apothecary going, because he does provide healing. In your command phase, he can heal a model in the unit, or he can gain a command point by harvesting biomaterial off a dead Chaos Space Marine nearby. So
Oh,
what it is okay, at the start of your command, in your command phase, either heal a model, use standard apothecary nonsense, or give up the healing in order to gain a command point, with the rule being choice samples. So he samples some DNA, gains some strategic insight, and therefore we gain a command point instead.
yeah. Okay.
In addition, the fleet commander from Sargota the Enforcer allows you to move units around in and out of reserves after everyone else is deployed, which is not that uncommon. Rogue traders can do that too. They also basically get to just inflict mortal wounds once per game on a unit within 12 inches. Like, we're going to plunder you now. Aha! Take D3 mortal wounds.
Jesus.
And the Axeman, whose name I forget. Oh, Katar Garrix, that's the one. The Axe of Ending is strength 6, AP -2, damage 2, anti-character 2 plus precision. Meaning that against a hero, it hits on 2s, wounds on 2s, ignores half their armor, and does 2 wounds a shot.
Bloody hell.
And also characters can't hide from it because it has precision.
Nice.
The rest of them are just sort of meh. Like, the guns are mildly okay. The Sorcerer's got a decent weapon. But definitely their main power is in melee with the Bionic Gauntlet of the Torellian Enforcer and the Force Stave and the Axe of Ending. They're much more about melee than they are about range, but they're still not useless either way.
Okay.
Oh, what it is actually the plunder ability is not we're going to pirate you. It's the Torellian sticking its Bargasi on them.
Nice.
Yeah. Would you mind the word Bargasi? That name rings a bell for one reason. There was in the 5th edition rulebook, I believe it was the Ghoul Stars, a region of space, and I remember it referring to a region of space that the Imperium had never gone into because of, and I quote, the hyper-violent Bargasi.
Yes.
How on earth is the Imperium not able to defeat a bunch of doggos?
That's a baby.
Okay, that makes more sense. I mean, still though, who would win? 100 Space Marines or 1,000,000 Xenolions? It shouldn't be that bad. Then again, Mega Arachnids.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the Blood Angels and the Emperor Shun got absolutely their asses handed to them by a bunch of spiders. So
True. I forgot about murder there for a second, but yes, I knew I'd seen the word Bargasi before, and I wanted to check it with you to make sure I had that right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
You do, don't worry.
Good. That's nice to know I actually read something correctly for once. Cool.
Hey.
Beyond that, there is a book, 2 books actually. One of which is another Sisters of Battle novel from the series with the awful book covers. The ones that look like textbooks when they do the limited editions.
No, the limited editions look fine. It's the standard editions look like shit.
Oh yeah, they do actually. And this is Astrid Thurga, Pyre of Faith. If you don't know who that name is, she is the Sisters of Battle. Yeah, Sisters of Battle standard bearer character.
Yeah, funny that. That literally went on pre-order today. The limited edition did, at least anyway.
Oh, fair. I mean, it's a zombie book. At the time of recording, by the way, it's a zombie book.
By zombies, I assume you mean Nurgle-infused zombies rather than just actual zombies.
It looks that way. It lost a sacred blade to the forces of Nurgle, has to get it back, and the dead are rising. Yeah.
Yep.
On the other hand...
I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm getting sick of, I'm just sick of Nurgle in prose as of late, because I just feel Nurgle's just too easy a villain, because it's so easy to make them, disgusting, because, oh, look how diseased and gooey they are, kind of thing. I'd rather something. Give me something different. Give me something, maybe something a bit more Tzeentchian. Because it's not really often you get really, like the Thousand Suns or like a Tzeentchian cult being the big bad. Really, is it? Often these days.
How about let's go on Black Library and let's go through 40k novels and actually see where we are in terms of bad guys in the last few books that feature chaos. Let's actually do this test.
Let's do this.
That doesn't say. The Demolisher novel doesn't say. It says something malevolent, but that doesn't mean fucking anything. The Ferren Arrayos novel is set in that's Nurgle, so that's to do with the Death Guard. But that makes sense because Plague Wars. Archmagos, that's not Chaos. Twice-Dead King is not Chaos. Vagabond Squadron was...
Gene Father was Fabi Spall's group, so I suppose that technically counts as Slaanesh, technically.
Yeah.
By virtue of him being Emperor's Children.
Yeah,
so.
that's Xenos. The Relentless Dead Death Corps novel, it's...
Zombies, so it's probably Nurgle.
It does talk about zombies indeed, so yeah, probably, but we don't know for sure. And just does a flick. And granted, there's a lot of these that are not going to be even against Chaos, but I know what you mean. I feel like I've read a chunk of novels where Nurgle is the enemy.
Once you read one story about fighting against Nurgle, you've read them all essentially because it's so. If a lot of authors fall into the same trap that they basically make Nurgle very samey over different books because. I suppose because it's a very easy way to do. It's like it's very easy to do things like slime and pus and shit and all that stuff like that. So I suppose it's just like. Put easy mode, I suppose. Not taking away from any of the authors. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure most of these books are pretty good, but it's just like I'm just bored of Nurgle.
Yeah, I get that.
I think they would. I would have thought they would have given Nurgle a bit of like a break following the Plague Wars because we had like an entire edition pretty much focusing on fucking Nurgle. So
especially considering that in that time they brought back 2 more traitor Primarchs.
Yeah, because when was the last time? That, like, say, Khorne was the big bad. It was the Angron novel, obviously. But aside from that, when was the last time Khorne was the big bad?
Dawn of Fire is the battle, not Dawn of Fire, Avenging Sun. The final battle of that is Makota Sound, which is against a Blood Crusade. Is the one that jumps immediately to mind. The rest of Dawn of Fire was just against generic chaos, aside from one, which was Nurgle. That was Paragon of Faith, if memory serves. Then, of the other novels I've read, and actually I can actually pass bloody judgment on because I've actually read the bloody things. Where's my library?
I don't know. Where is it?
There. That was Tau. Demon Hammer. I can't remember. It was demonic, but I think was it Nurgle? I can't remember if it was Nurgle.
I was going to say it's funny you brought up Tau because I just remembered the Shadow Sun novel that was Nurgle as well.
Yeah, actually, I'm just going to go back into Demon Hammer for 2 seconds because because obviously that's the Kotiaz novel, and I'm like 99%. Yep, that was definitely a Great Unclean one.
Nurgle. More Nurgle.
Divert the will of the Plague Father. There we go. Yeah, so Demon Hammer was...
Can we just lay off Nurgle for a while, guys, please? Just focus on someone else, maybe?
Yeah, I think it is one of those of... Maybe there has been a little bit of overexposure, but at the same time, I think... The challenge, I think, is for an author, and I'm not speaking as an author here, but as someone who wants to try and take these characters in interesting directions, because the human element of the Nurgle corruption is probably the most interesting, because Khorne is very blood, rage, kill, murder, smash, and
Hulk smash,
and that makes a great villain. But does it make a great antagonist? No. It's very paint by numbers. Like, these guys want to take your head and spill your blood. They must die. It's very paint by numbers.
Yeah. So I think as well, like, sometimes maybe it's like with Nurgle stuff, maybe some of the focus is not so much necessarily on the characterization, but more on the body horror element of it, rather. But I feel like if you want to just do, like, a body horror, like, bad guy faction, so to speak, Vashtor's right there, flesh and technology, body horror stuff's right there, and he's only really been the villain of one full-length novel so far?
I think
and
so.
that was like a Caradon one?
I feel like is that Magos? Is he in that?
I don't know, I've not read Megos, so I can't
No,
comment on that.
the brand new one.
I've not read it, so I can't comment.
Yeah, he is. He indeed is involved somewhere in the Art Magos novel. But
Okay, so that's 2 then.
But that's not. Yeah, that's just normal chaos.
Yeah. But again, if you want to go body horror, you can focus on Vashtor. If you want to go down to body horror, or even Tzeentch for body horror, because Tzeentch is about change, tentacles and mutations and shit.
Yeah,
you can go down that route.
I think it is interesting, and I think the other challenge is with. You're right, Nurgle just leads too much into that, but the Nurgle characterization of how people are corrupted by Nurgle, of the malaise of the everyday, and just accept your fate, and wouldn't it just be easier to make the pain go away? Like the way Mortarion falls, in essence. That's an interesting story. Tzeentch, you basically every Tzeentchian story I can ever think of starts with, wouldn't it be nice if I did a bad thing right now? I don't like the person in charge. I want to do a bad thing. Well, don't I have the offer for you, friend? And it's like bloody Spamton from Deltarune just pops up and just starts spamming. Hey, don't you want to corrupt yourself and defeat the planetary governor? All I got to is your entire mortal soul. And it's just like,
I have a counterpoint, a counter story for that. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it was Mark of Faith, the Sisters of Battle one.
Yeah, I've not read that one, I'm afraid.
Because the main villain of that is a Thousand Sun sorcerer, and he's doing all he's doing because he wants to cure his blood brother, his actual biological brother of the rubric.
Yeah, and that's what made
that's a great plot line. That's a great motivation for a villain.
But that's what makes the Ahriman novels, where he's the protagonist, really interesting, because he's trying to sort out and fix the rubric. Well, I say that he doesn't first start to, then Armon pisses him off, and then he decides, actually, let's just do it again, but better. But that's not the point. The other challenge is Slaanesh is so easy to write wrong. And that's not
I'll agree with you on that.
That's not a criticism of those who write Slaanesh, because Slaanesh can be very, very interesting if you handle it carefully.
It's way too easy to fall into the whole sex, drugs, and rock and roll type thing, isn't it? So,
especially,
put it bluntly,
yeah, especially. But again, the body horror there, the one that I always remember, I forget the name of the novel. I think, was it? No, it wasn't.
It was Draco.
No. Yeah, I want to say it's the Outgunned novel, but I know it isn't. There's a novel I've read, and I have read it. I don't know which one, though, from looking through all these books I've read, where the planetary governor, or the son of the planetary governor, is corrupted into a arrangement, and you almost have these moments, almost Flesh Eater Court style, where he sees this courtesan, and then suddenly there's the image of the allure slips for a moment, and you see the horrifying being underneath that is a demonette, and then it snaps back, and you shake your head and like, what the hell was that? And the soft power and corruption of Slaanesh can be very, very easy to write, but very interesting to write. Not easy, but very interesting to write. The problem is, rather like Nurgle, is once you've crossed the line, where do you go? Because with Tzeentch, you've got ulterior motives and machinations and more twist than M. Night Shyamalan. But the problem with Slaanesh is once you've crossed the line, and it's all about, they're lost to their excesses and they're indulging their every desire and all of that, most likely that does come across in sex, drugs, and rock and roll, or just corruption run rampant and power unchecked, but not in a political vice grip kind of way where you can play the system. It's more of a, this guy's just completely lost his head kind of thing. Which is similar with Khorne, but Khorne makes a great villain. Slaanesh and Nurgle make great setups for a villain, an antagonist, but then don't pay it off very well because they're really easy to fall into one-note paint by numbers traps. Tzeentch, by its nature, is so difficult to write. Like
Machiavellian, even.
Indeed, that it probably does put a few people off, and that's not a criticism of any of those authors or anyone who's thought, I want Tzeentch in this novel. Oh, actually, or actually, I think it might be best if I just use Nurgle here, because I think it makes the most sense for my narrative, but it's also something I'm able to reference and draw, and I can write that in a way that my audience will engage with. I would completely respect that, and I'm not trying to sound critical or like I'm on my fucking high horse. Like, I'm currently writing up our narrative campaign that we've been doing at Warhammer Club, and trying to piece together a narrative and weave things together is bloody hard when...
Yeah.
And that's when you've got very limited character work you want to do. When you've got actual characters with actual motivations and means to ends and resources, it must be so hard to write.
Yeah. So I had to laugh when you said, like, when you cross the line, where do you go? And my mind immediately just went, you go to the impact zone. Hey, wrestling reference.
God's sake.
TNA wrestling, cross the line.
Yes. However, if you're in the mood for chaos with a question mark, might I interest you in the other novel that they revealed at this time, Ghost Legion, a Mike Brooks Alpha Legion novel?
Yeah, I think we talked about this on a previous episode, but it's when it had a different name, because it was leaked on the German Amazon site, and it had a different name because it was known as, like, the Pillar of Dreams when translated from German to English, which, let's be honest, Pillar of Dreams sounds so much more hardcore than Ghost Legion.
I mean, yeah, but the actual plot line is very interesting. Harrowmaster Akura seeks to take on the Imperium with the Pale Spear, like Alfaris' actual weapon. Well,
Yeah.
what he claims to be the Pale Spear anyway.
Funny enough, one of the rumor engines a while back actually had what looked like the Pale Spear on it, so it's likely he's actually going to get a model at some point, maybe for like this year's Black Library celebration, I reckon.
Maybe. I mean, that's quite a heavy bank on this book selling well and being popular. I know the Alpha Legion are popular, but
I mean, the first book in the series was pretty good, apparently, by all accounts.
That's the one with the Deceiver, right?
No, the one before this was part of the very short-lived Renegade series. It was Renegade's Harrowmaster. It's the first appearance of this character, and this is like a sequel to it.
I thought Mike Brooks wrote the one with the Deceiver as well.
No, that was Andy Clark, I think.
Okay.
Because that was Sons of the Hydra.
I can remember its bloody name, Sons of the Hydra, thank you.
And then there's the other one, Shroud of Night, where they end up, which also featured like a random guest appearance by Khan the Betrayer and Celestine. In fairness, that book did end with a massive punch up between Celestine and Khan the Betrayer. Tell me you don't want to read that. Tell me you don't want to read that, because that's an awesome sounding thing on paper. Khan versus Celestine.
Agreed.
That book came out like shortly after 8th edition dropped, and it actually had like the Alpha Legion's reaction to Primaris Marines for the first time. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And Captain Dysorian of the Imperial Fist complains like, I don't like Primaris Marines, they're not real Space Marines. Almost as if like echoing the fandom at the time.
Well, yeah, someone's got to break the fourth wall.
Of course.
But, oh well. There actually isn't a huge amount if you're not fussed about Age of Sigmar. There's not a huge amount of the stuff, really. There is, however, some event miniatures. So these are the commemorative series that you can pick up at the travelling store. So if you remember last year, they had the Skaven Warlord and the Genestealer Cult Primus operative, if you recall. This year, for 40k, they have gone with a Cadian Castellan, which they have decided to title as Cadia Unbroken. Because the planet, well, apparently in this case, the planet didn't break, even though it broke before the Guard did.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It perfectly conveys a sense of stoicism that a senior officer would, display on the battlefield to their troops and all that. So, in that regard, it's fine, but it's just a bit boring.
Yeah, I mean, that is damning with faint praise.
Yeah.
But even so, I do think you're probably...
No, in fairness, if you did like armies on parade, we actually had ranks of like Cadians, and this was the person looking over them kind of thing, examining the parade, formations and all that. that's a perfect pose for it. Like making sure everyone's in correct formation is like yes, good lads. That's a perfect pose for it. But for about a minute, it's just boring.
Agreed. Yeah, damning with faint praise. The other one is a Cities of Sigmar miniature called Dawn's Reward. The idea of, hey, it's after a battle. Here's one of your soldiers for a sergeant of your Cities of Sigmar, and it's designed not to be mid-battle, designed to be post-battle. Although, admittedly, I think they certainly could have done a bit more in the paint job of making that clear that there's a bit of blood on the sword, but his armor looks far too clean for someone who just had a fight.
I love this expression because he just looks so dumb with it. It's like, I'm sick of this shit kind of thing. I love that expression.
Yeah.
And also, can we just point out that his shield is probably like, the least effective shield ever because of that massive gap right at the top.
I mean, that's because of, the steel helms, a lot of them are like that, but I think it would catch a sword if you caught it at the right angle, but yeah, it's not that useful. I mean,
it's not stopping arrows or anything though, is it?
No. I'm being a bit harsh on saying that it doesn't look like it's just been in a fight because the shield is broken, and as you say, the facial expression and the way they painted the armor is very chipped in that way. I just feel like if you've just been fighting cruel boys and you've got blood on your sword, chances are you're going to have blood and other things on your armor as well, rather than just a few chips and dents, and they could have sculpted that a bit more, I think.
Maybe a broken arrow pointing up, protruding from a shoulder guard or whatever.
Yeah, I'm being critical because I know how good many of the event miniatures are. I'm being critical not because I don't like it, but because I know how good they can do it.
So all in all, they're fine.
Agreed. They are fine.
Inoffensive.
Yeah. Nothing ridiculous.
No.
Is that closed now? Oh no. Just as a PSA, there is a Warhammer Heroes nominations window open at the moment. So if any of you are involved with people who want to nominate someone, you've got until the end of February, pretty much, to nominate a Warhammer hero if you feel like they deserve it. Please do get involved with that because whoever gets it, I think, honestly, it does a lot, for those people. It really honors those people who put their time in to really benefit this community a lot more than, dweebs like us on the internet. I'm not dissing the YouTube community because, gods, we work up. You lot work your backsides off to make.
Sorry, did you just say dweeb?
Sorry,
I didn't realize we were going back in time to 1987.
Sorry, I was watching the new episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged this morning. All right, let me off. I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Genuinely, that's where that's come from. But
maybe later you can watch Rude Dog and the Dweebs. Hey.
Cough. But honestly, I'm not dissing the work that we as content creators do, especially in the AI apocalypse. But it is honestly some of the stories you hear of the Warhammer Heroes, the things they do, work as mental health support, revolutionizing entire cities, local hobby community, whatever it may be. These people genuinely deserve the recognition, and if you have the ability to nominate somebody, or you think somebody has done something, please do. And yeah, they might not win, because some of these people are genuinely, superhuman, but the recognition goes a long way, I think. I think it would be really appreciated if you get the chance to do so.
Also, to any of TAC students listening, vote for TAC, because they do the Warhammer Club. Vote for them.
I wasn't going to say that because I don't think that's fair. That would be like trying to lobby for a bloody. I'm not going to use your show to lobby for an award for myself. I don't deserve that. That's not fair. And besides,
I mean, in fairness, you were lobbying for it, so don't worry, you're clean.
No, I know, but just I think about the work that we have done, and I look at I know. Just what we do. And I apologise to the person in the comments, by the way, who used to love hearing all the stories of what we were doing at Warhammer Club, because I've stopped, telling them. But genuinely, I look at what we've done, and I am really proud of Warhammer Club. It's only 10 or 15 kids on once for an hour or so a week. It's nothing special. But if I can get the level of satisfaction from making a small difference, then anyone who is involved in doing anything for this community genuinely deserves the recognition, because I don't need to be recognised for what I've done. I know I've done my job because I see the kids absolutely loving the game. Like, I've watched people go from quiet little recluses into literally character role playing mid mission, just because their dice are falling a certain way, and I'm really proud of that. I don't need a little pin badge to say, "Hey, you were nominated as a Warhammer hero for that." But I know that there'd be a lot of people who do things and maybe don't get the same recognition or credit that, say, I do, because I'm the one in charge, and the kids look up to me and my colleagues who organise and go, yeah, they're in charge. There'll probably be others who silently put together everything for their gaming club every week and just make sure everyone's got terrain, or they always buy the beers in, or whatever. Even those people are worthy of credit, more so than people who go out of their way to promote what they do, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I can understand that viewpoint, yeah.
Yeah. Admittedly, though, I will, considering I've got time, I will regale you with a couple of the stories of Warhammer Club, because it has been a busy few weeks.
Go on, then.
So we're in week 9 of our Dark Crusade-inspired narrative campaign at this point, and the Word document that I have written, I've written up week 7. I've just finished written up week 7 today. Genuinely, I think it runs to the thousands of words at this point. It's in my notes tab rather than in actual word, so I don't know if I can actually get a word count. Select all. Can I have a word count? How do I do that? Scan? No. How do I do that? Maths results? No. No. I don't know. Either way, it's bloody long. And it genuinely, I'm so pleased with what I've come up with. So we've had an invincible orc steamroller running over half the campaign map. They've already nuked the Necrons off the map. So we basically played, the Dark Crusade mission where you have to run in, plant a nuke, and run out again.
Oh yeah, in the Tomb World, yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
Nice.
You had to run the Warlord up onto this. I bought an expanded Storm Vault and then painted it in black and green and everything. And they had to cross the board, run up onto this massive Storm Vault, plant the Bot Buster Bomb, as I've nicknamed it. And that ended game 1. Then game 2, because the Necrons get to redeploy their entire army in the way, and you have to get off again before the nuke goes off. Turned out the Necron player didn't really understand that they could deploy anywhere on the map, and promptly left the Warlord leave in short order, and kaboom went the Necrons.
Oh dear.
Robert Gilliman has nearly been killed by an Ogrin.
Hey!
And Marnius Calgar got pulped by a Redemptor Dreadnought in one shot.
Lol.
Literally, the Ultramarines player went, I want to fight the Space Marine player today. Alliances be damned, consequences be damned, and Calgar just died. And that's permanent. Like, the Ultramarines don't have a fortress. They have Calgar and Gilliman, and if both of them die, they're eliminated.
Oh dear.
So Calgar perma died, and Gilliman, the next mission after, I had Gilliman turn up to join the army to replace Calgar, and the first mission was get Calgar's body back. And the Ultramarine player was so desperate to get it that she ran Gilliman in a suicide charge, like trying to cut through every single unit in the way to stop Calgar's body getting stuck on the Chaos Fortress terrain piece for shits and giggles. And Gilliman, literally, he needed the armor of fate to not die. Like these Ogrins and their artillery guns actually managed to take Gilliman, kill Gilliman, if it weren't for the armor of fate. It was hilarious.
Where's the rain now, Gilliman?
Admittedly, Gilliman has then since charged across the map like an unstoppable murder machine, cutting down Inquisitors, Chaos Marines, and actually eliminating the entire Chaos Space Marine faction in 2 shots.
Oh shit.
So the Chaos Space Marines have been eliminated now. I've got the Space Marines doing an underground mission in a buried mining complex, trying to find a webway gate that's guarded by an avatar of Cain. Except actually they don't know where the webway gate is, so there's just a normal game, but there's 3 blips. One of them's the webway gate, one of them's a Wraith Lord, and one of them's a unit of Eldar jet bikes that are just here to fuck your day up if you go the wrong way.
Nice.
And probably the one I'm most proud of is I've got my inquisitorial faction is about to play its secret mission, which is basically, Fallout 2,
Yeah.
Control Station Enclave.
Oh,
I'm
for the
doing,
oil rig.
yeah, a coastal oil rig fortification where you've got to crawl through the corridors, not knowing what's in front of you, then adding a spice of Fallout 3 to overload the central computer and blow it the fuck up. But if you go the wrong way, you're walking into a boss fight with an Inverter assassin.
Is that going to be your Frank Horrigan, is it?
Yeah. Oh, and did I mention the entire game is Zone Mortalis and the entire Inquisitorial army is blips like it's Space Hulk?
Nice.
So you don't know what fucking anything is until you come round the corner, and suddenly you don't know if you're going to be staring down a priest or in a fucking Vindicare. You just don't know what's in front of you until it's there. And the tower going to be taking that one on. So that's going to... And I've actually bought some old Warhammer Quest D&D terrain to make the corridors.
Oh, yes.
So genuinely, it's going to take me like 20 minutes to set that game up, but it's going to be so much fucking fun if I can pull it off.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I will send you when I finished it. I'm going to write it up I've been writing it up. I'm going to turn it into a Word document, like booklet that I'm going to print off and give to every kid who took part in the campaign. So this is the story of what you did, and I'll send you a copy of the PDF because genuinely the writing's shit, but it just tells the story of how we got here. Like the fact the Orc Steamroller just ran at the Leagues of Votan fortress mission and literally bounced straight off them. Like this Orc army has run over Votan, Marines, Necrons twice, Eldar, and I think somebody else. No, Necrons twice, yeah. And then it runs at this Votan mission. And the whole purpose of the Votan is you need to run off the board. Votan are fucking slow. So the whole idea was like, can you get off? But also, if you kill a unit, it turns into an objective marker because they're actually dragging the loot and their corpses off with them. Because I thought it was a fun twist. And literally, the Orcs didn't kill anything. They just ran at it and died.
Oof.
Granted, that's because I banned them from using their bubble chucker, because that bubble chucker killed a Redemptor Dreadnought in one fucking shot in the second week.
Oh, shit.
So the Ultramarines player has literally said, I'm not playing the Orc guy. I won't play him. I won't play him. I won't play him. Purely out of fear of that fucking bubble chucker.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's great fun. And I just spend like 10 minutes at the start of Warhammer going, like, right, this is your mission, these are your special rules, fucking play, and just let them go. But at the same time, we had a returning vet, come back who plays Emperor's Children, and a new kid turned up. So literally, I just got them on a tiny little board with 2 units and said go, and just got them to smash into each other to learn the rules a few times, and then they did a Dreadnought Demolition Derby to finish, just for fun.
Nice.
I was supposed to be marking while I was doing that, but oops. Never mind.
Never mind.
Yes, anyway, that's my story because I have not, as usual, had time to read anything. I am planning to, now I finished Silent King, the last episode, my next target is Witchbringer, the Primaris Psycho novel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I figured that was one that you might miss, because I know you're going to read Remnant Blade. Like, I know you are.
At some point, yes, I will be. Yes.
Yeah. So there's no point in me trying to read that. And there's actually quite a lot come out on Black Library that I'd forgotten about because there's more come out than I realised. If I go back into bloody Black Library 40k novels, like that Apostle novel I want to read, that's out. Art Magos I want to read to see where it goes with Call and Vashtor. Demolisher might be interesting. What's the other one? That Vagabond Squadron. Robin McNiven's a good writer. That's the one that's interesting enough. I don't want to read Kraken Blood because it's fucking Space Wolves. And then there's Void Scarred, which I've heard is quite good. And what is Darkness Eternal? How have I missed this? Oh, it's an anthology. That's why I missed it.
There you go. Well, I'm about halfway through Ashes of the Imperium. I held off talking about it last week, mainly because A, I was coughing non-stop, which is why the episode was so short, because about half of it was me coughing my lungs out.
Sorry.
And secondly, I thought you might want to hear about some of the events in this book, because it's like, I'm at a point where I had a very natural break to it, so I thought, right, okay, I'll leave it there and wait till Neve's back so I can actually tell her about the fucking thing.
Well, thank you very much for being so considerate.
Because I figured you might be interested in some of this stuff.
I mean, there's very few things I'm not interested in when it comes to literature.
Right, I just got to quickly look through to remind myself of one particular character's name, because I can't remember if it was Praetus or Praeton. It's actually Praeto. But anyway.
Do we need spoilers?
Yes, we will need spoilers, because this book's still relatively fresh. So, yeah, I just skip to the timestamp in the video description if you want to avoid spoilers for the first half of Ashes of the Imperium. Okay? So, entering the spoiler room brawl in 3, 2, 1.
Why the fuck did Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, why the fuck? Seriously. I was going to make a comment about Cody Rhodes' promo.
I saw that as well.
Not to.
We'll not talk about AEW.
No.
We won't do that today. We're not doing that today. Too political. Right, don't mind. I'm just going to crack open a cold one, and we're going to get to work.
You leave those lizards alone.
Actually,
hey.
I've told you the story of a YouTuber I watch whose video on Total War Warhammer 2 was called "Cracking Open a Cold One with the Elves."
You did, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I still think that's brilliant, though.
Right, so we start off right at the end of the Siege of Terror, obviously, from the traitors' point of view. The traitors are storming the Imperial Pass. They're going, yeah, we're going to win. Yeah, we're going to win. Big psychic shockwave. What the fuck was that? All the demons fighting alongside them, they just go poof.
And Horus is dead.
What the fuck happened there? Yeah. They look up at the sky. The sky is on fire. Not because of the warp, it's because there's literally thousands of drop pods and gunships all coming down. Oh shit, it's the Ultramarines. Fuck it, leg it, lads. Way. And basically it's like a mass panicked retreat of the traitors. They're all basically like fleeing for their lives. Bunch of their gunships and dropships and all that, they get shot down, in the ensuing confusion. And a whole bunch of them get slaughtered. A few of them escape, but a whole bunch of them just get absolutely annihilated.
I'm surprised any of them made it out, considering the Ultramarines had the largest fleet in the Imperium.
It's just purely because of sheer numbers. Like, some are going to slip through the cracks regardless.
True enough.
They're going to focus their attention. Basically, the Ultramarines are focusing their attentions on the big stuff, so the small stuff can escape through the cracks because they're not being directly targeted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, basically, what happened after the siege? The Emperor's been returned to the Golden Throne, obviously, but no one knows the true extent of his injuries. Some people think like, oh, he just needs a couple of weeks to recover, he'll be fine. But the Custodes have completely withdrawn themselves from the public now, as they do. Guilliman and Dawn are currently locked in a debate over what to do next. Because Dawn basically wants to hunt down the traitors. He basically wants to launch another crusade, hunt down the traitors, run them down, gun them down, wipe them all out, and basically get rid of the threat completely. Okay? Guilliman, on the other hand, says, that's a stupid fucking idea. What you need to do is take back Luna and take back Mars, and we need to consolidate our power. Because we'll launch your crusade eventually, but currently we ain't got the manpower or the resources. And considering that the traitors are still on Luna, still making Space Marines on Luna, Terra's not safe until that's dealt with.
And he's not fucking wrong.
No. But they're deadlocked. So Guilliman sends Titus Praeto, who's his chief librarian.
Have we met him before, remind me?
I think he appeared in the Calf books. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Right.
But chief librarian, so pretty much the highest ranking member of the Legion at the point.
Yeah, hang on. Didn't the chief librarian of the Ultramarines join the Grey Knights, or is that a different Ultramarines librarian?
That was a different librarian.
Sorry, what was his name again?
Tylos Rubio.
Thank you. Oh, fuck, I should have remembered that. Oh, I'm embarrassed now. Oh, fuck, I should have remembered Tylos Rubio. I'm embarrassed. Right, sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So, Prato's been tasked by Guilliman, right, since me and Dawn are deadlocked, we need the opinion of another Primarch to basically break the tie. Go get Vulcan.
Vulcan's dead.
No, he's not. He was still alive on Terra. He survived.
Okay, actually, yeah, okay, Vulcan isn't dead at this point, but I'm trying to remember where Vulcan was during the siege, because other than the Magnus dream
He was in the
sequence...
webway. Yeah, he was in the webway fighting Magnus,
Also, where's
essentially.
Jagatai?
Recovering from the injuries inflicted on him by Mortarion, because Mortarion basically stabbed him with a poison blade.
Um,
So
and
he's currently in
where's
a coma.
Lion? Like, I know that Lion comes after
Lion
Gilliman, but I don't think he was that far behind.
Lion and Russ are both en route, because Lion decided to take a detour and scorch all the traitors' homeworlds.
And Russ is just going off killing things because he doesn't know to either do anything else, the lazy bastard.
Yeah. And Corax is just, no one knows where the fuck Corax is.
Well, I don't think Corax was at the siege, was he?
No.
Didn't think so.
But regardless, so basically, Praeto's been sent off to find Vulcan, and he finds a group of Ultramarines on patrol, and then says, like, right, I'm looking for Vulcan. Do you know where he is?
No.
Yeah, last I heard, I think there were some salamanders down over that way, a few clicks away. So that's probably your best place to start. Ask the salamanders, they might know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because there were a few salamanders on Terra, obviously, you know, the Draxfard and all that.
Yep.
So Praetor goes down to see them, and he sees like this big mountain of like traitor Space Marine corpses who've been basically their armor's been completely smashed off. Basically, what's happening? The salamanders are basically feeding Vulcan, not in a literal sense, like he's not Vor or anything like that, but like, you know, they're basically giving him individual Chaos Space Marines they've captured for Vulcan to basically beat to death with his bare hands, just to get his stress out.
Oh, I was expecting you to say a pile of corpses that was being turned into a giant funeral pyre.
No. That's just basically ones like these are all Vulcan's victims, essentially.
Yeah, what's worse? Oh, we died as the Ultramarines attacked us. Oh, we were fed to Vulcan's power fists. I know he doesn't have power fists. No, I know, it's his bare fists. I know. I should have said the power of Vulcan's bare fists. I misspoke. Yes.
Yeah, literally just beat the everlong shit to death out of this one Emperor's Shield Marine, and then Vulcan notices Praetor standing there and is like, oh, you saw that, did you? Yes. Are you going to judge me as well? He's like, well, no, it's not really my place to judge, considering, like, you know, well, we weren't here, so we don't exactly have a say in the matter. It's like, you know what, Ultramarine, that's a very mature response.
Accurate.
I appreciate that.
Accurate.
Yeah. So anyway, why the hell are you here? Well, Gilliman wants to see you. Oh, has my leash grown too long, has it? Well, no, he seeks your counsel. Bullshit. What do you mean? No one ever seeks my counsel. They just seek me for my power. They just say, hey, can you hit this? They never actually ask me for my opinion on anything.
I mean,
so I find that hard to believe. No, not really. It's like, yes, but Gilliman and Dawn are kind of deadlocked and we need someone to break the tie, so would you be alright to do that? It's like, fine, but I'll go when I'm good and ready. I'm a bit busy. Punch this Emperor Shield-Marine. Right. There's another one coming up. Tell you what, Ultramarine, since you weren't here, do you fancy taking a go at this one? Yeah, fuck it, zap.
Just zap.
Oh, yeah, librarian power zap. Kill a traitor with librarian lightning powers, kind of thing. Well, he didn't actually use his powers because the warp around Terra has basically just gone. So no psychic powers of any kind can be used, really.
Oh, it's not even just gone back to normal. It's a full-on null blast. Oh.
It's basically become like a zone of silence for a time being.
Interesting.
Which has led Dawn to think that the Chaos Gods are actually dead. We all know they're not. But that's what Dawn thinks, because, like, well, it's a null field now. Dad must have killed him.
That would be nice.
How little he knew. Meanwhile, Khalid Hassan and Moriana Mohausen, who are two of Malkador's chosen, they're basically going around visiting the High Lords of Terra. And they're basically saying, look, Siege of Terra's over now, and it was all well and good having, you know, a Primarch in charge during a wartime situation. That was perfectly fine, but there's a very real... Yeah, it's a very real threat that they might want to keep their power. So what we need to do is basically, you know, have the High Lords basically say, hey, this is supposed to be like, you know, the Imperium of Man, not the Imperium of Astartes. And if Dawn launches this crusade, it's going to fuck us all over. Because, again, we ain't got the manpower or the resources. It's going to spread us out super thin. We're going to be fucked. So we need you to side with Gilliman when they have their little debate and all that. And the High Lords are like, Well, while your master may have been good at playing the political game, you guys aren't. So, fuck you. For reasons. We're not doing what you tell us. We do what I want. Kind of thing. Because, of course, people got to be fucking playing politics at any given moment. It's like, do you remember, have you ever seen Deep Space Nine?
Not in a damn long time.
You know that bit where the Klingons are basically fighting against the Dominion, and then all of a sudden Chancellor Gowron decides to, play politics against, General Martok? If anyone's watched DS9 recently, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, regardless. Eventually, Lion and Russ do turn up as well.
Yep.
And basically you're basically having a session convened in the Sanatorium Imperialis, where basically they decide to have the debate, what we should do next post siege. Should we, retake Mars? Should we retake Luna? Should we set off in pursuit of the traitors? This, that, or the other. And Russ basically goes, well, I think we should fight. I shouldn't be here, standing guard on some empty wall or whatever. And then Gilliman's like, well, maybe if you were here standing defending an empty wall, this shit wouldn't have happened. Because remember who fucked off prior to the siege?
Russ.
He's not wrong.
Would it have made a difference though? No. Let's be honest.
I mean, it might have done. Another legion defending the palace. It might have made a difference.
It might.
Keyword being might.
I genuinely don't see a world where, even with Russ there, given the sheer numbers that they had, and demons and titans and everything, unless the Emperor personally intervened, I don't see a world where the Loyalists won that siege. I just don't.
I counterpoint with this. If you had an additional legion and an additional Primarch and the resources they bring to the table, they would have probably held out for the additional hour it would have taken for Gilliman to reach Terra.
At which point, yes, the traitors are pinned. Fair point.
Yeah.
I suppose, if you don't count the Ultramarines, then I think, if the Ultramarines never make it, then the traitors will win. But the Ultramarines were that close. Good point. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, because remember, at the end of that Siege of Terra book, literally, right at the end, as soon as they teleport to Horus' flagship, they get a message from Gilliman saying, we're about an hour away, just holding a little longer.
True. I'd forgotten that line.
Yeah. But anyway, they have the little debate. Each makes their case. Russ and Lion both vote in favour of Dawn. Because Russ is like, we should hunt them down. And Lion's like, yeah, hunting them down while they're broken is probably our best bet for wiping them out. Yeah, let's just strike while the iron's hot, kind of thing. So basically, and Vulcan ends up agreeing with Dawn as well. Because, Vulcan's very emotional, but he's very angry. He's like, I want to beat the shit out of them, kind of thing. And so Dawn goes, right, well, since we've all spoken, we've all voted in favour of this. And then Zagreus Kane of the Adeptus Mechanicus, he basically pipes up saying, excuse me, we've not all had a say.
The Primarchs have sort of forgot that the other humans are in the fucking room.
Yeah, Dawn's like, who the fuck are you to have the... He's thinking to himself, who the fuck is this guy having the temerity to speak back to a Primarch like this? And Kane's like, look, the Adeptus Mechanicus, the loyalist elements of the Mechanicum, we've aided you on Terra, and we do not begrudge you for this, because, we were promised that if we help you defend Terra, you would help us retake Mars. And we ain't doing shit until you fulfill that promise.
And without the Mechanicum, they're not going to go very far.
No. The Lord Commander Militant of the Imperial Army basically says, yeah, we kind of need Mars's resources, because, we lost a shit ton of ships, during the Solar War. We need the Martian forges to make more. We need to make more ships, make more weapons. And we ain't got exactly that many troops left either. So, yeah, I vote Gilliman. And one by one, all of the High Lords start voting for Gilliman. And in the end, the numbers favour Gilliman. And Dawn's just seething, basically thinking like, you utter bastard, you played me like a fucking fool, you political little bitch.
Because A, he's been told what to do by fucking humans, and B, he's been outmaneuvered by Gilliman. C, he doesn't get to go and smash something. And D, well... just cross because he failed to protect his dad. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, all the High Lords, the head of the Sisters of Silence, Adeptus Mechanicus, Administratum, Astronomicon, all those guys, they basically say, yeah, we vote Gilliman. and Dawn's about to blow a gasket.
Yeah.
Lion basically says, okay, you know what? I'm going to be the mature one here, because we can't afford to be divided at this point. So you know what? Guilliman, if you need my Legion support, you'll have it, okay? You'll have my Legion support.
Yeah, I may disagree with... Yeah, not I vote for you, but at least I'm not going to disagree with this result.
Exactly, yeah. We'll do your plan, and I'll be the first one to admit, you know what, fair enough, democracy wins, yada, yada, yada.
Now, this raises an interesting question, and I'm sorry to derail you again. What would have happened if Dawn had actually won that vote? I wonder how the Imperium would have turned out.
There probably wouldn't be too much of it left, to be honest.
Point.
Because remember, I mean, it may have lasted for a couple of centuries more, but remember the next big major conflict that came, just a few centuries later, War of the Beast. Yeah. If Dawn won that vote, I reckon then the Imperium would have been wiped out during the War of the Beast. Just going off this book so far.
Fair.
So yeah, there you go. That's a massive ripple effect right there. Meanwhile, we've got a group of traitor Space Marines, who have been trying to escape, loyalist attention. There's a group of 6 or 7 of them on this one tiny little frigate. I mean tiny. It's about 3 or 4 word bearers, a couple of Night Lords, an Iron Warrior, and a Son of Horus, all stuck together on this one ship.
Oh, fun.
A ship where all the mortal crew is dead because they had to turn off life support to basically stop, Ultramarine patrols from spotting them. So all the human crew's dead. They end up picking up some more traitors as passengers, a group of Iron Warriors. And the leader of these Iron Warriors basically just goes, right, I'm taking over the ship now. It's mine now. Deal with it.
Rude.
And they're trying to make their way to the Mandeville Point to escape the Sol system.
The Mandeville Point being just past Pluto, if I recall.
Yes. However, that's heavily guarded by Ultramarines. They basically set up an ambush point. So basically, every single traitor ship making its way from the Mandeville Point is being shot out of the sky, so to speak.
I mean, yeah, that means Guilliman's got a brain. He knows they've only got one way out.
However, at one point, the head of the word bearers of this little group, the Apostle, he basically he's trying to conduct a ritual because he knows the warp is weak. So I need to try and do something. And then he ends up getting a message, presumably from Lorgar, that says, don't run. So what the fuck's that mean? Don't run. It's basically telling him, don't leave the Sol system. Stay in the Sol system. So what they end up doing, they end up going to a shipyard in Pluto. I believe it's Pluto anyway. It might be a different planet. Might be Neptune, actually, but I think it's Pluto. Where there is a still hidden sect of chaos cultists who are basically provide them refuge for the time being. We'll come back to them next time I progress through the story. But that's pretty much it so far. The natural breakpoint was the end of the debate, in case you were wondering. But yeah, not too much in the way of actual bolt upon, but it's very focused on the political side of things, as it should be.
Yeah,
because I think if you go full on bolt upon this early, it'd be a bit like, oh.
Yeah, because at this point, really, the conflict, the fighting of guns is over.
I mean, there's some great, void battle action with the traitor Astartes and all that.
I can imagine, yeah.
And there's some... I'll tell you one thing I do really, really like. The start of each chapter opens up with a quote from a character, not necessarily a character from the story, but maybe a random Imperial Guard soldier, a random Space Marine, that kind of thing. Traitor or loyalist alike, and they're basically talking about the siege, essentially. Basically, what happened. They said it would be so easy, but it was actually really hard, and this, that, and the other. And there was one, I'm not going to read the entire thing out, but there was one that was really interesting because it basically said, once Malkador died, so did the Imperium, essentially, because Malkador was responsible for so much, and he oversaw so much, because, he was, the head of the Administratum, the Officius Asnorum, and all that. But without Malkador, the Imperium was basically fucked. Because Malkador was the Imperium, essentially.
Are they wrong? No, not really. If I'm honest.
Basically, like, the Emperor was the public face of the Imperium, but it was Malkador who actually ran the fucking thing.
Basically, yeah.
I'm the one doing all the paperwork. You're just sitting there playing Elden Ring. Essentially. But yeah, that's where I've gotten to so far. And I'm looking forward to carrying on. There was some other side stuff with Kirill Sinderman, but he's just basically doing his whole, like, we need to document this, that. Oh, and there was also a bit with a couple of Chaos Cultist Traitor Guardsmen, who basically trying to escape persecution. But that's basically it, really.
Okay. Still interesting.
Mm. But yeah, it's really good so far, I have to say.
Yeah.
Really good so far.
It sounds it, and hopefully they can pay.
I hope they can continue keeping up the pace.
Yeah, because I think the biggest challenge is just going to be getting the Imperium to a place where we recognise it, because obviously the pre-heresy Imperium and the mid-heresy Imperium, the Imperium starts to undergo this metamorphosis into what we recognise to be the Imperium of Man. Not what it used to be. You see it fall, you see it change, and you see it become everything it always was, but just kept under the hood because the Emperor knew how to talk. So I'd be interested to see how closely they can get the Imperium to looking like the modern Imperium. And granted, there's things that happen in between, like the War of the Beast, the Age of Apostasy. All of these things need to happen as well. But it will be interesting to see how much it feels like the new Imperium by the time the book is over.
Right, we'll come out of the spoiler room now, and yeah, can't believe Roman Reigns is fucking winning the Royal Rumble again. That's just bullshit, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sick of Roman Reigns. I'm sick of him.
It's not that bad. I don't agree with it, but it's not that bad.
I mean, they should just take a chance with Bron Breakker getting eliminated first thing. That was bullshit. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Bron Breakker
that sounded like a last
quickly,
minute change of plan, but anyway.
Yeah, it's still bullshit though. But anyway, shall we move on to the questions, because we didn't do any last episode, so we got 2 episodes worth, I believe.
Yes. So a few comments about the drone. Here we go. So, speaking of Lion and Gilliman, since Lion is apparently, and I quote, reaching out and contacting Gilliman, do we have that correct?
Yes, it's at the end of the 500 Worlds campaign. There's little things saying like, Gilliman, we need to talk.
That book hasn't come out yet.
Yes, it has. The Titus one has.
What?
Yeah, it has.
Oh my god! What rock have I been living under?
I've got it.
Oh my god! I'm living so far under a rock. Yeah. All right.
The Maelstrom one hasn't come out yet, but the Titus one has.
Okay. I'm assuming nothing of interest happened.
Not really. It just basically said Gilliman, we need to talk, and that's where it ended on.
Okay. So how do you want them to do it? Do you want it to be a chapter or 2 of a book? Do you want a separate short? Does it need a whole ass novel? How do you want them to play it?
I don't think it needs a novel. It doesn't need a novel because there's not enough material for a novel. Honestly, I would like at the very least a short story. You could maybe stretch it to a novella, maybe, but even that's pushing it, I feel. But I think like an actual short story with some actual characterization and some dialogue would be nice. I don't want it being buried in a campaign book somewhere.
No, and I don't think they could do it justice as a chapter or 2 within a novel. Like, if I've learned anything from The Silent King, minor spoiler, that conversation lasts for 10 fucking pages, and that's it. Actually, not even 10, more like 4.
I was going to say, it still lasts longer than Gilliman's conversation with the Emperor and fucking Dark Imperium.
No, but that was done by design.
Yeah, I know, but even so, it's like, you'd think you'd have a little bit more, considering like it's Gilliman meeting his fucking dad again after 10,000 fucking years.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Right. Here's a good one, speaking of Dawn of Fire series. Has Warhammer lore essentially become one series of mystery boxes after another? New lore doesn't actually answer anything, just create new questions, never providing an actual answer to what it set up in the first place.
To an extent, yes.
Yeah, because there's another question, I don't know if it's on this episode or the other episode. Oh, it's on this episode. But do you think we'll ever get a payoff to the Emperor Returned plot line they seem to be setting up? No.
Not this edition.
Like, they've set the whole Star Child plot line in motion during Dawn of Fire, as well as bringing back the fucking Anathame, and just left it hanging and said go.
We might get something in 12th edition if we're lucky.
Like, honestly though,
It ain't going to be 11th.
Like, if this whole campaign sector revolves, like, the final book is like called Anathema or something, and it features like an assassination attempt on Gilliman or whoever with the anathemas in play. I think they just need to acknowledge the fact that the anathema, the most powerful demon death sword fucking ever, that killed...
Draconian might say otherwise.
Debatably ever. I don't know about actually ever, but certainly debatably the most powerful weapon ever created is...
The only reason I say Draconian is because like the Emperor himself could not destroy it. We all know how overpowered the Emperor is.
Okay, yes, Draconian is the actual competitor, I agree. But how many Primarch kills should the Anathema have at this point? Because I think it's about, like, it killed Horus, if it weren't for nonsense.
It killed Horus. It technically killed Vulcan, but then Vulcan got resurrected at the end of fucking Deathfire by the Emperor himself.
It was about half an inch from killing Gilliman during the Battle of Calth, if I recall.
Yeah, but half an inch ain't enough, though, is it?
No, I know. But like, this thing has killed 2 Primarchs, and it would definitely have killed more had it not been for plot conveniences to get it off the table. Like, it's so powerful.
I'd say 1.5, considering Vulcan came back, so I'd say 1.5.
The only reason Vulcan came back is because he's a fucking perpetual. Like,
the thing is, if you actually go through the events of Old Earth, basically what happened when John Grammaticus stabbed Vulcan with the Anathema blade, or was it Fulgurite? Oh no, actually no, it was Fulgurite, I think. It was Fulgurite, wasn't it? Yeah. If it was Fulgurite, then the Anathema's only killed 1.
It's just that one happens to be fucking Horus.
Yeah.
Okay, it's up there. Okay, top 5 most powerful weapons in the 40k universe. Happy?
I'm never happy. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Is currently in play with a whole goal of killing Gilliman. Also, the Star Child is a thing. There is a manifestation of Emperor Chaos God something that exists. It concretely fucking exists.
Do you know what? I would love it if the entire Star Child plot just ended up being, swerved. And guess what? Star Child is actually a Dark King again. It's just like it's the benevolent name they gave it, but it's actually the Dark King in disguise kind of thing.
I mean,
that'd be a twist.
I mean, that's just the 5th Chaos God at that point, then.
Yeah,
which is not a bad thing. But just in answer to the questions that have been put, they do like to give you a tidbit to answer old questions and add context to old information, but they very much like setting new things up rather than paying things off. Mind you, sometimes, we've said this before, I know we've had this exact conversation on the podcast before, that answering too much is a bad thing. Like, you can't answer every question, and you shouldn't answer every question. And are there too many plot threads dangling at the moment? Probably. But if you just start knocking 5 or 10 major plot threads out by answering them and resolving them, all you're going to get is people complaining online that it wasn't done the way I'd have done it. And I think...
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, if you keep reintroducing or keep introducing brand new plot threads without any intention to solve at least some of them, that's just as bad. Because, like, okay, it's just a mess of tangled laces and shit.
Yeah. Hi, FNAF.
Yeah, basically you start going like, full on FNAF on this shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then you've got the other one that I was thinking is the archetypal mystery lore game, which was COD Zombies, where they had it all set up and then they just answered to fucking everything and it ruined it. From a lore perspective, not a gameplay perspective, from a lore perspective, it very much ruined it and they just answered everything. So you've got to be, there is a balance of leaving things hanging and setting things up and paying things off. And I think they are slightly, and it is only slightly, leaning into the too much setup, not enough payoff. Because, like, Blade of Truth, I just come back to the Farsight stuff, like, that answered a lot of questions about and expanded Farsight's lore in a way that covered everything you had ever asked about the run-up to the incident on VR Loss. As well as, setting up and paying off what happens when Aun-Va comes to talk, and Aun-Shi's relationship with Farsight is both expanded on and paid off by the explanation of why Aun-Shi isn't defecting and why he's staying in the Empire, but also setting up what he could go and do later without ever paying off the Shadow Sun plotline, which they know they're saving because they can't keep those two away forever. Thank you, cough cough 7th edition, for setting that shit up. It just... I think they can do it. They just... The problem they've got is that a lot of the poster boys are getting the constantly new stuff treatment. Hi, Titus. Like, why is Leandros not part of your inner circle, Titus? Considering you thought he would be shadowing you like a hawk for the rest of time. Like,
because no one likes Leandros. He's a prick.
I know he's a prick, but he said he would always be there. Where is the Leandros mini that is constantly glomped onto Titus? Where is it? Like, because you know they'd make one and it would make fucking bank. Mostly because people just use it as a corpse on their Chaos characters. But it would make so much bank.
The thing is, aside from just like, the face, you could just use like, standard Primaris Chaplain model. Because it's exactly the same otherwise.
It is, yeah. But yeah, there you go. That's that question pretty comprehensively answered, I would say.
Next question then, please.
Are there any old metal sculpts you'd like to see remade, 40k or fantasy?
Oh, God. Jesus. Do you know what? Slight swerve here. Beast Lord Rakarth from the Dark Elf line. I like that. I just like that dragon.
Yeah, actually, speaking of the Dark Elves, the Dreadlord on Cold One / Malice Darkblade never got a plastic.
No.
So that while we're here. Oh, the twin-headed Chaos Dragon.
Oh.
Galmar.
Which one?
Galmar?
Oh, Galrock.
Yes, the one that's ripped in half.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, the other two-headed Chaos Dragon, the one ridden by Egrin Van Horseman.
Well, Van Horseman in general, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, the Van Horseman. Yeah, I'll change my answer to Van Horseman. Yeah.
Is there any on 40k they haven't redone? No, there's nothing metal left in anybody's range anymore. But is there any old minis that they sort of retired that would be cool to just, reintroduce in plastic that they never actually went...
Karandras. Because when it was still waiting on a model for him. Karandras, please.
Oh, Karandras, you poor sweet summer child, you bastard. Oh, God, Karandras.
The scorpion got replaced by a spider.
Oh, God, poor Karandras.
Yeah. Again, that's my answer. Karandras and Egrin Van Horseman.
Yeah. Right. What would happen to the Blood Angels if Dante went full Black Rage?
They'd get a new chapter master.
They say like, oh, would the chapter try and cover it up, or because if Dante just disappears and ends up in the Death Company, like A, are they going to acknowledge it? No. B, are they going to try and cover it up? No. C, is Gilliman going to get involved? Probably not.
I mean, publicly they probably just say, oh yeah, he fell in battle. Otherwise, they'll probably just do what they did with Captain Tycho when he fell to the Black Rage, because he was like the captain of like the Third Company when he fell to the Black Rage.
He was indeed.
They just shoved him in it. So they're probably just like, oh, just shove him in the Death Company, appoint a new chapter master. What happened to Dante? Oh, he got killed.
Yeah, because...
okay, fair enough.
To ask a stupid question, how much... I know the wider Imperium doesn't know what the Black Rage is. Does Gilliman?
No, I don't think he does.
That because obviously we might find that out as part of Ashes of the Imperium in this mini-series, that the Blood Angels... Because the Black Rage isn't a thing until Sanguinius dies, no. And by the time Gilliman gets there, it seems to have worn off. So
yeah. I'll
be curious to see if Gilliman actually knows what it is.
Yeah, I don't think he does. And even in regards to the Red Thirst, I think the only other Primarch who actually knew about the Red Thirst was Horus.
Yeah.
Because Horus actually saw it happen. It's like, what the fuck was that? It's like, don't tell anyone, please.
Don't tell anyone, please. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so, I don't think Gilliman knows.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Right. Question for Rem. What do you think mandrakes are? If you had to define them as, say, demonkin, mutated, gene spliced, what are mandrakes.
A pain in the ass.
I'd be not wrong. Like, I always think of them as shadow demons, but I know that's wrong.
I'd say like they're not fully demonic. I'd say they're corrupted, but they basically have been tainted by like their exposure, like to the raw essence of the webway, from what I can recall. So they're kind of like, to oversimplify, they'd be like half demons, if that makes sense.
Yeah, this person's just demon kin as a concept.
Have I got out?
No, I'm just trying to think.
Okay.
Because there's one for me about like, since the realm stone of the etheric void is null stone, and it's an AOS question. Basically,
Right.
Why hasn't chaos consumed the right? Would chaos consume the realms if space was just space instead of being made of anti-magic? Fuck if I know. Fuck if I know. I don't know my AOS lore that well. I know my AOS lore, but not that good, and I'm not in a position. I didn't even know the Etheric Void has a realm stone of anti-magic. That's news to fucking me. Sorry. Right. That. Oh, God. Oh, beans. That's far too complicated.
Okay.
If you could give a Black Library book to a character, but events still play out even if you gave them a future book about themselves, like, who would you give a book to? Or what book would you give to them? For beans, that's far too fucking complicated.
I got an answer. I would give Cal Jericho the Inquisition War trilogy purely because he references having read stories about Jack Draco when he was a youth.
Fair enough.
He actually references that in the book Sinner's Bounty.
Fair dues.
There you go, there's your answer.
Thank you. That really made my life a lot fucking easier. Right, and one more. What is your favourite orc novel?
Probably the Gazgol one.
Shout.
Because there's not actually that many good orc novels.
Yeah, because the thing is, when you say orc novel, do we want where an orc is a main character or where orcs are a major component of the story? Because
by orc novel, I assume they mean a novel from an orc perspective.
Yeah.
Like with an orc protagonist.
Yeah, because at that point you can count those number of books on two hands if you count the Red Goblin, on one hand if you don't. Pretty
That's
much.
a novella, so if you're counting novels, you can count on one fucking hand.
Well, I mean the Red Goblin's got a bunch of novellas, so yeah, none of them count.
Because you got the Gazgol novel, you got the Grotsnet novel, you got the two Blackhawk novels, and you got War Boss.
What about?
That's it for actual novels.
No, isn't there one more? Or is that the first Blackhawk novel? The one that's like, it's got a speed freak on the front, where it's an orc wearing goggles on the front cover, and it's like going dead fast, and I've forgotten its name. I can literally see the fucking book cover, but I can't see the fucking title. Oh, what is it called? Hang on.
Because you got Gazgol, you got Grotsnet, you got Brutal Cunning, you got Big Dakka, you got War Boss. I'm pretty sure that's it for actual orc novels. Because you got novellas like Evil Sun Rising, for example.
No, I don't want Mike Brooks, the fucking political commentator, you twazzick. I want this one. Right, here we go. Publications Black Library. What's it called? 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 I swear to God. Or have I just hybridized the Gobbo's Revenge and Brutal Cunning into the same fucking book cover? I don't know. I can't.
You probably have. Either you just remembered the Speed Freaks board game.
No, I haven't. It was definitely a novel that had like a Speed Freak on the cover, but now I'm seeing the Gobbo's Revenge and it looks like that.
Was it War Boss? Because that had a bunch of different orc characters on there. I think one was a Speed Freak.
No,
so Speed Freak, a couple of Grots.
No, the War Boss's cover is the Mega Boss, the Psyker, and the Grot, and that's all.
Right.
So no, I don't know what fucking depths I've plumbed that from. It was probably just Brutal Cunning with an old book cover that they changed.
It came to me in a dream.
Fuck if I know. Unless, is it one of the shorts? No, that's a 404 error.
You're probably thinking of one of the audio dramas, Prophets of the War.
Might well be.
Or something to that effect. Yeah, it's like there was an audio drama that had like Speed Freak on the cover. She was like behind the steering wheel.
Yes, that sounds right. Bloody hell! Damn it!
Yeah, I think it was that one. Yeah, that was an audio drama.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. And I think, unless I missed one, I think that's it. Because there's only a couple of questions on the last episode. Because most people were just talking about how cool the guest was and marking out over the new Red Corsairs, and also Ian Watson.
Yeah, because we actually brought up about how, in regards to Ian Watson, a lot of the hate he receives from the fandom is frankly unwarranted and unjustified.
I don't know if he's hated or he's just clowned on.
I've seen both.
True.
I'll use hatred as a catch-all term in this regard.
Fair point.
Because I think a lot of it is unwarranted. Because having actually read through his books, yeah, there are bits of it that go full on into writer's barely disguised fetish, but otherwise they're not that bad. I mean, I've certainly read far worse from Black Library.
Oh yeah,
Damnos.
You will never stop hating on Damnos.
Books. Yeah.
You will never stop hating on those novels until the day you die.
No. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Here's my parting comment for this episode. The Ian Watson books are better than the Lilith Hesbrax novel. I'm sorry. That is, I was going to say the subject, because it's more subjective, but yeah, that's my personal opinion. Draco is, Draco, Harlequin, Chaos Child, and even Space Marine, with its homoerotic subtext and, the literal scene with someone eating shit, is better than the Lilith Hesbrax novel. Fight me.
Okay. I feel like you've just introduced a question now that I've just come up with as the last closer.
Go on.
Top 5 worst books you've ever read.
I'm not going to put them in any particular order because I don't think
because there's 3. Obviously, there's that one, and there's 2 others that I'm 99% are going to show up, and then after that, I'm not sure what you're going to say.
Right. Okay. So Damnos, obviously, because I found it so fucking boring. The Lilith Hesbrax novel because it just devolved into just shitty fan fiction tier. The Rabute Gilliman Primarch novel, because that was just so boring as well. Those 3 come straight to my mind immediately. Descent of Angels.
Yeah, I thought you were going to write that one.
And Battle for the Abyss.
Oh, I thought you were going to put the Conrad Kurz novel on.
That's so bad, doesn't even deserve getting mentioned.
Oh, oh, right. It's not even F tier. It's so bad they don't even mention it tier.
Let me put it this way: the Lilith Hesbrax novel is rock bottom. The Kurz novel is in rock bottom's basement.
Yeah, I knew Descent of Angels was coming up, and I was like, he's got to mention the Kurz novel. He's got to mention the Kurz novel, surely.
Yeah, I can't limit it to just 5 because there's so. The amount of books I've read, there are so many that are shit. Because again, not every author, no author bats 1,000. Not every author makes a perfect list of books. Because, I know some people might say, oh, but Dan Abnett's but Dan Abnett wrote Brothers of the Snake, and that was okay at best. So it's not up to his usual high standard. That's one of his more mediocre books.
And the other one is ADB.
Yeah. I need to read more ADB stuff. Really. I haven't actually read too much of his stuff, really, in fairness. I really the Night Lords books and the Black Legion books and Spear of the Emperor, and I can't really remember what else of his I've actually read.
Hell's Reach.
Yeah, I've not read that, really, because I tried.
No, sorry, stop. That is a bigger sin than you banging on at me for 6 years to watch Akira. Fucking read Hell's Reach.
Tell you what, I'll read Hell's Reach once you've watched Akira.
I ain't got time. I've got 2 fucking kids. I got time.
You can watch it with the kids. It's fine. It's a cartoon.
Yeah, right. All right. I'll let you deal with that one. Get out. Yeah, just have a 2-year-old watching Akira. Yeah, right. Sure. Great plan, that.
You never know, they might grow up to be a weeb. You never know. But anyway, on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, we should call it there. So, thank you very much to everyone who tuned in for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, this has been Remleiz from 40k Theories.
This has been Nee from Tactica Imperialis.
And we'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.